Well, there's a front blowing in. Raining. Got a good rain for a few minutes, probably about 30 minutes of rain. And now the wind is blowing in. Cooled down very quickly, very quickly. My brother and I, my oldest brother from Seattle, went out and had lunch today and visited with Joanne, Kenny and my sister, Kenny's wife. We had a good time, had coffee and donuts and stuff and visited for a long time. Then he and I just went riding around and talking. And he had some other things he wanted to do this afternoon, and he hopes to be able to come back tomorrow before he leaves. And hopefully I can get a little shot of him on the video. He's 87. He got some issues, he said, with his health, but you know, nothing overnight type thing. It's just something that's ongoing. But besides that, he seems to be in pretty good health. That don't make sense, does it? Anyway, we had a lot of fun. Talked about a lot of old time memories, family things and stuff, and I really enjoyed it. We went, had lunch together, and really had a good time. And hopefully I can get with him again tomorrow. He wants to go visit some cemeteries tomorrow, and he wants to do that by himself. I understand that. He wants to be able to sit and visit with different ones that have gone on that was part of his life. And I understand that. And there's like 3 cemeteries he wants to visit. And he said he gets through with all that. Hopefully he'll have time to run back over and visit for a little while with me. And I hope he does. And if he does, we can do maybe a little quick video of him. Yeah, wind's blowing, it's whipping in every direction. And cooling down quickly. I think it's already down in the 50s. A little while ago we got back, it was in the upper 70s. Beautiful day though. All right guys, I'm gonna cut this off and catch you guys later. Funny thing was also, oh yeah, I meant to tell you, he met Bennett. Bennett come by and he was very impressed with Bennett. Bennett's very, very well spoken. Anyway, we had a good time. I was going to tell you, we was eating lunch and he called his wife, and she's up, you know, like I said, they live on they're in Washington State, but close to the Oregon border. I think about an hour or so from Portland. But anyway, he told me, he says, he called her. He says, you won't believe what I'm looking at. She says, what? He says, I'm looking at girls waiting on us with shorts. I said, don't you tell us you're called Gigi. And anyway, she said, well, that's not going to happen here because it was 27 degrees at their house. Yeah, he laughed. He said, yeah, I knew it was cold. But yeah, anyway, I just wanted to tell you that. He had to call her and tell her he was looking at girls with shorts on serving us. So, catch you guys later. Good morning, guys. Papa and Hattie. We fed up. I'll get it out here in a minute. You know, we had a cold front. Cold to us. Got my shirt on. Blow in last night. Got a little bit of rain, about an inch, a little over. But it's more nice and cool. A little north breeze. Sun come out. Several things happened. When the front blew in, the bees, the robber bees that were hanging around my shop, they went home. That was a good thing. They left and went home. So I went out last night, about 11 o'clock last night, Heidi and I. And I opened up the boxes. I took several frames of honey and put it in the freezer. I want to save some in case the bees start running low. I've got plenty of sugar and pollen substitute, but nothing takes the place of honey if they need it. And so I put some in the freezer because I don't need all of it. And then the other, I took out of their boxes, put them in a big igloo cooler, not to keep them cold, but protect them in case any of the bees try to come back. And then I took all the boxes out, the empty boxes all out of my bee room, and stacked them out so the bees can come back and clean out when they want to, but away from my bee room. So one evening, Bree and I will process that honey, and possibly this weekend, I'm not sure. Also, yesterday, my brother came. I had such a great time. We didn't video anything because he just wanted to kind of just sit and visit with me. And we rode around looking at different old landmarks that he wanted to see again. He said, let's go have lunch. We met at the cemetery. And where my dad and mom are, and my brother Riley and stuff. And there was Joanne, my sister, my brother Bob, Kenny, and Kenny's wife Emily. We all met out there, sat around the cemetery and talked for a little while. And then Ben come by. My brother was very impressed with Ben. He was impressed with Ben. Ben's very polite, very. Hey, don't turn your back on me, baby, when I'm talking. That's rude, okay? That's rude. She's like Gigi, just like Gigi. Anyway, then he and I, we all went over to Joanne and had coffee and donuts and sat around for a while and talked and had a good time. And then he asked me, he says, you and I go for a ride. So we got in the truck and we just drove. And we drove for probably, an hour and a half, just riding around different places he wanted to see, and he wanted to see the new subdivision and all that kind of stuff's going on. And then he says, let's go eat. So I said, okay, where you want to eat at? He says, let's just get a hamburger. So we went to Sonic at Splendor and had a hamburger. Today, he may come by. If he doesn't want to try to video him, I said, I'd like to get him on a video. I didn't want to bring out a camera yesterday and start trying to video, him trying to, first day here, trying to see things. But he wants to go to the cemeteries today. There's 3 cemeteries. He said he wants to go visit and just chat with those that meant a lot in his life, that were in his life. And he wanted to do that by himself, and I understand that completely. I do that sometimes myself. And it's not something you want everybody standing there listening to you chat with someone that's passed. But anyway, that's just me. But anyway, so if he gets time, he's going to try to come back. He leaves early tomorrow morning. He's going to try to come back. And maybe I can get him on a video. If I don't, it's okay. I'm going to cut this off now. Heidi and I called her G because she turned her back on me. I had a guinea last night, and when I'm in the shop working, come in there with me. And some dogs had caught it, all chewed up, poor thing. And I made it comfortable, give it a place to kind of rest up and kind of doctor the wounds, but I knew this was pretty severe. Anyway, this morning the little guinea had passed away, so I'm going to bury it. But I don't know where it got caught. Who knows? Anyway, some dogs had caught it and chewed it up pretty bad. Anyway, we got some things to do, and got all fed up, and we're going to get out of here. Heidi and I are making a circle. The goats are all out. I have all of them out in the back, and I want to come down and make a little patrol. Kind of watch Heidi's reaction after that front comes through, make sure nothing is out prowling. Sometimes animals in cold, wet, rainy weather like that, they'll lay up, and then the first thing come next morning, they'll come out and start stirring. And I want to make sure, we don't have that problem today. The wind is still blowing. Uh-oh. Wind is still blowing pretty good. Still blowing pretty good. All right, honey, that's just. Heidi's not showing no kind of alertness, so I'm pretty satisfied with it. I know the goats and all of them will work their way back here, but so I just want to kind of make sure before they get here. Ivan's with them, so I don't worry a lot. And the cows, they're all up with the cows. See, they'll all probably come back together. If Ivan can ever convince Moses that he's in charge, then he'll probably herd the cows and goats all together. I don't know if Moses is ready for that, giving up that authority yet. It's beautiful back here to me, folks. This is where I was. Oh, look, there goes the squirrel hiding. There goes the squirrel, Bob. Too cold to chase them. You're kind of a house dog, ain't you, Heidi? No, she's not. Yeah, I love coming back here. I just drive around back here, and every trip I make is like the first trip I ever made. It's just awesome. And it may be that way with everybody when you go places that you love, you know? Every trip is like the first time I was ever here. And I come here several times a day. Now, this is November. The grass will start turning brown. The first frost we get, it's probably going to turn brown. Still green. And in places where it's tall grass, there'll still be green underneath, even after a frost. And that's what the cows will come back and eat on during the days. These ridges are pretty deep grass back here. And they will graze back here during the days, and they'll have hay at night. But I try not to start feeding hay until Thanksgiving around here. And some folks don't feed that early. I try to start feeding about Thanksgiving. You know, the hay. They get cubes every day. And I'm going to try. I think I got feed enough to last me until Monday or so. And I'm going to try to video that little feed store for you when I go back to get feed. And I could do it today, but I want to hang around in case my brother shows up. I love these sycamore trees. They're white. They're just as white, and the leaves are pretty. It's the kind of tree old Zacchaeus climbed up in. I can see why. All right, I love it. It's white. And I know up north you guys got trees that are white like that. I forget what they call it. The birch or something like that. We don't have that here. Look at the shape of that tree yonder. See it? That tree had to have an accident when it was a little tree. Come up and make that bend like that. Now, if that was an old tree, my grandmother used to say, and I'm going to say Indians, and some want to say, well, are you talking about Native Americans? Yes, I am. When I say Indians, that's who I'm talking about. My grandmother used to say, when you find them old trees, like them old oaks and stuff that have been around, come on, Heidi, come on, baby. Come on. Bent like in 2 or 3 different directions. It was like marking an Indian trail. And that's what her old timers told her. And she said you could follow them sometimes for miles. Just ever so often you find one bent 2 or 3 different directions when it's little and it rode in that direction. I don't know how true all that is. It was true to her. So I'm going to just take it as a truth to me. She had some awesome stories, my old grandmother. I'll tell you a little quick one. She was babysitting once. Babysitting for the neighbors. And they had made their monthly trip to town, and it's late getting home. They come back home on their wagon, and she was only about a half a mile from her house. And it was late. And the man said, called her Carrie. He says, Carrie, get on the wagon. I'll give you a ride. I'll take you back home. She says, oh, no, it's moonlight night. I can walk. And he said, you sure? She said, oh, yeah. So they started unloading her wagon, and she just struck on out on the little road. Like I said, about a half a mile, quarter of a mile, something like it, to her house. You see the lights, you know, the old lamp at her house and stuff. It wasn't in the moonlight night. And this calf walked out in front of her on the road and stood there, and which cows are everywhere. So she says, shoo, get out of my way. Well, it growled at her. It wasn't a calf at all. It was a big cat. And it scared her to death, and she turned around and told her, I guess if it had been hungry or something, it would have caught her. Because she turned around doing the worst thing and took off running. It didn't chase her. And she went back and told that man and lady that she was babysitting for what had happened, and he took her home then. And sure enough, they went down the next day to big cat tracks where they crossed that little road. I see Ivan's people coming. I see his people coming. Johnny's at the house. Now Johnny had to come in the front and play around the yard for a while and aggravate people. So I'm just gonna sit here and let them guys come on back and feed a little bit. I'm gonna hang out for a while. Everybody's coming along. Here comes Ivan. Herd them along. Keep it moving, Miracle. Keep it moving. He got them moving. He got them moving. They come here underneath this big oak tree and find acorns. Or y'all say acorns. I say acorns. Acorn or acorn. Your choice. Same thing. But that's what they're picking up right here. Mossy tree, huh? This is probably one of the oldest trees. Well, not the oldest tree probably on the place. It may be. I may have told y'all that before. This old tree here. A little funny story about this tree. My dad, I had some goats years ago after I got grown and living up here on the hill. And I wanted to put some goats back here in this back part. And coyotes were not bad at that time. And my dad and I come down and fenced across this field with net wire all the way across that field yonder to this tree. And under this tree, and then we went on all the way across over here to these trees here, and then all the way back to the river on both sides. So the goats were confined over here. Hey, bud. You got your people under control? Anyway, we built a little goat house here. And I had one of those big old batteries that goes on a tractor. And I come down, there wasn't no electricity back here in Nashville. So it would come back, I set that battery inside the little house out of the way. They couldn't get to it. And I hooked an old 12-volt light bulb to it. And every evening, I'd come down and turn that light bulb on. And the goats were sleeping around that light bulb, and nothing would bother them, I guess because that light was on in there. And it worked out pretty good, but we only kept them back here a few months, and we opened it up, they could come all the way to the front. Hey, girl. I've got a mouthful of moss. All right, here comes the babysitter. There she comes. You got two kids. And you see way up yonder at the barn is Moses. You know why? Moses is still eating. I put out a bunch of cubes for him this morning, and these guys, I guess, got all they wanted. Moses is cleaning up for him. Or his little pile, he probably wouldn't let anybody eat with him. All right. What do you think, Hyde? You about ready to go? This is my joy, folks. Well, I got lots of joys. We got a little Dakota bear and our little Carrie. Someone was asking about Carrie, and don't be mean to Carrie. And Sophie, and there's Sophie, was asking about him this morning. Heidi, leave them alone. Don't bother them goats. I was gonna tell a story, forgot what it was about. Oh well. Probably wasn't important. Oh yeah, as I was saying, we got Coda, little Coda bear in Bay for the day and probably the night too. I think Laura will come down and spend the night with Bay, and then we'll take him to church with us tomorrow. Dustin and Gio went to that Texas Renaissance Festival where they dress up in costumes, you know, and go. It's like the old, hey baby girl. And that's it back there, okay? That's it back there. That's it back there. I love you. I do. You're my sweet girl. I do love you. Yes, I do. This is Granny's daughter, Billy's daughter. She's full sister to little Fern. She was full sister to Queenie. Yep, full sister, just older. Anyway, we got those two little girls for and I guess they'll pick them up tomorrow when they come for lunch. All right, I'm gonna cut this off. Everybody's happy. Ivan's here with them. Ivan, is that Mall City good, son? Oh, look at that little girl yonder. She wants to lead them down the hill. We're gonna make another turn through the back. I see a cows back there, so they're all fine. Ivan's with them. Then we're gonna head back home. Gotta go check on Johnny. Just don't tell him what Johnny's into by now. Come on. If Johnny will keep eating those leaves, I will not have to rake. Get every one of them, Johnny. Doggone it. I know, baby. He's not eating all of them. I know. You're telling on him, right? He's not eating them, Pawpaw. He's not eating all of them, Pawpaw. That's crazy. Here I am with shorts on with a long sleeve shirt.